This is the opening of the Wayans brothers.
This might be just the outtake. Okay.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Good morning. Welcome to the Taylor Tilton Show. I'm Christie Taylor, and this is
Tina Tilton. I'm not going to sing my name, but good morning to everyone. You are, girl, good morning, Christie.
Okay. And I have to confess, this is without me even taking one sip of my cayenne peppered orange juice. Unbelievable.
So tell me your secret. What happened?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, first of all, the Taylor Tilton Show is brought to you by...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Christie Taylor Consultant and the Podcast Center. Now, what happened? I want to know, because you have not sipped your Kanye pepper and you're singing the morning opening. What's up?
I know, right? Okay, I believe what had happened was that I have awakened with a strong agenda, get started, hit the floor, where they hit the ground running. And
Okay.
I did drink quite a bit of the 9.5 alkaline water throughout
Alcohol.
the evening.
9.5 alcohol.
No.
Oh, alkaline. I was about to say, you were intoxicated this morning.
That would explain it, definitely. That
I
would
promise you.
But
I didn't have my cayenne pepper. I had alkaline alcohol.
I will
Blame it
say
on
that
the alcohol. Blame it on the. Oh, I'm sorry. That's me singing now.
No, that's you singing. And why did you sound like the computer that they did for that?
I know. Girl, because that used to be my jam. Although I did not drink, I do not blame anything on alcohol because I'm not that kind of drinker at all. But I thought it was a good song. But anyway.
It's interesting. Okay, to that point, I'm not a drinker. I'm very much a very, 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 very light social drinker, which means I get all the fruity drinks or the cheapest wine that's sweet. But when I did love that song, and I really love the music video.
You said cheap. Yeah, blame it on the alcohol for you, for real.
Yeah, it would be blaming on alcohol. But okay, so what happened was I think that because I've been drinking a lot of water, because I'm like, there's a couple of things as you age and you have to keep your skin, your joints, your let's say digestive system, just so much, hydrated. And now that, in this seasonal change, I'm like, Christy, good and well, you need to be drinking more water. And then I, made sure that because I have a 10 o'clock, a virtual meeting with a new client. Wait a minute. Did she just,
Well, congratulations to you for that.
Okay. In matter of fact, she just texted me. And so we're going to have a 10:30 a.m. And I'm like, I need to be fully alert after, get the show ready, post things. I'm looking to find out about these red bows, red nose, and red heifers. But anyway, Tina Tilton got a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. But I will say
that was my topic title. Okay. You used it.
Yes. I said, I can't even paraphrase that because I have no idea what she's going to be sharing with me today. But I hit the ground running today, ladies and gentlemen. And I actually set my alarm a little earlier. See this? I'm learning that the trick is actually waking up earlier.
Duh.
I know, right?
Okay, go on. Proceed.
So needless to say, that's the reason why I'm singing the good morning. Welcome to the Taylor Tilton Show. And I didn't even have to sip because I've been up so early. I've already pretty much gotten dressed. Do you hear me? I'm pretty much like 90% dressed. And
I need to reclassify myself as a new client of yours. So the next time I ask you to keep my kids while I go to the podcast center, then you will be here on time and good morning and singing and pulling up and just I can get to my destination on time too. So as of now, as of right now, 9:06 a.m. Tuesday morning, consider myself a new client of yours.
Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to the Taylor Tilton Show. One of the reasons why he's saying this is because I have a normal alarm set for 9:30 a.m. Like that was before the Taylor Tilton Show. That was like my alarm. And then to do this on a Tuesday, I set an alarm for 8 a.m. so I could be at least halfway awakened and drink some orange juice with cayenne pepper. But now, yes, I have a new client, actually a young lady that referred it to me, Angelita Parham, and some people know her as Angie Steele. So shout out to Angie Steele over there at the Women Business Center at Crosstown and Venetia as well. Because ladies and gentlemen, I know I started my business in 2019, but Christie Taylor Consulting is going to the next level. And I'm like, I need to get in on these amazing classes that are now available for women in business and just really learning how to get involved in classes and associations and affiliations, all the kind of stuff. Because Tina came up with a good word, but we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, in 2023, taking the next level. So yeah, so this young lady who is my new client was referred to me by Angelita Parham, and she finally reached out to me, and yeah, we chatted yesterday, and she was like, "Oh yes, I need you." Now, Christie Taylor Consulting, one of the things that I do, of course, is media and script consulting, but I also am a communications and public relations agency. Most people just know me for the media related stuff, but yeah, I can do a couple of press releases for you and book a couple, book you on a couple interviews. Tina Tilton, she got a show.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to second that emotion that you're saying right there, because everything, I'm telling you, almost everything that you've just stated, everything you've just said, almost, what am I trying to say? The services that Christie Taylor Consulting provides has pretty much done 90% of the podcast center's work. That is not a gift of Tina Tilton. So I'm so grateful for people like Christie Taylor and her company, and even you have a team of people. So I again, for me, I say thank you and congratulations on your new client. But what did you do this weekend, honey? I know you love recapping what you typically do on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and so on. That's oh Lord, what she do? Wait a minute, I think I remember what you did. I'm gonna let you tell it though.
Okay, but before we do that, good morning, Mama. Anita Jones,
Mama,
good morning.
Oh, hey, Mommy, good morning. I got my glasses on today so I can see.
Okay, also Latondra
Oh,
Lewis.
that's my cousin. Good morning, cousin.
Oh my good, family in the house. Okay,
Yeah,
family
what's
in
up,
the
fam?
house.
What's up, fam? Now, Latondra Lewis, she's an amazing woman of God. She's an evangelist, and she actually was at the podcast center this past Sunday, recording her, or just basically reminding or reinstating her calling, because she's supposed to have been ministering the word of God long ago, but she's back, and we welcome her back with open arms. So, girl, come on, cuz, give us that word. Look, it's so funny because I was so intrigued. I had gotten so involved in her message when she was at the podcast center doing her message that I forgot the time, and she was beckoning for me like, okay, I'm trying to wrap up. And I got up, I said, oh, that's right, I'm looking at, I said, girl, I'm sorry, I was listening to that message in agreement with it, like, wow, my cousin got it, my cousin got the word. She Holy Ghost filled.
Come on now. And that's one of the things too, that the podcast center, in addition to producing podcasts, television shows, radio shows, there is no limit to your client base. And I do know that you have quite a few faith-based, ministry-based clients. So those who love the Lord and want to get this word out, I would like to encourage you to strongly consider checking out the Podcast Center, because in the world that we're living in, we need more light in the world. We need more of the light of the world, honey. So I'm no longer, sitting on the sidelines. And of course, now today, because people used to say, well, I don't have enough money to be on television or traditional radio, but now the Podcast Center can make it very affordable for you. Oh, she said, thank you, Kim folks. She said, now she didn't stop preaching. She just stopped pastoring.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Thank you for correcting that for me. Yeah, but that right there. And an amazing pastor, preacher she is. So shout outs to her once again.
And to that, I say, praise God. Now, okay, so with that being said, my weekend, because a part of your weekend was being at the Podcast Center, producing shows. And for my Friday, I was still in script writing mode. I'm still trying to finalize this one synopsis, but I did get a chance to talk to one of my clients who I've been working on their television show, a really cool 30-minute situational comedy, and they love the log lines, and they love.
You got jokes. A situational comedy? You got jokes?
Not me, they do.
Oh, okay.
But I'm assisting them with developing their idea, because I teach them, I help them put their log line together, their query letter, and they had done their outline because I taught them how to do that. And then now they're just waiting on me to finalize the synopsis, because they do want to start sending it out to a couple of contacts that they have. So that was part of that. Then also reconnecting with lovely Lisa, because I'm, helping her out as a media personality. I do like to help those who are in media, as Tina said, with the Podcast Center, any, graphics and website and stuff like that. Be sure to check out TaylorTilton.com as well as TinaTilton.com.
Yeah, that's work done by Christie Taylor Consulting. All right, come on.
I really do I tend to like to do it with people who are in media, because I understand the flair that you're going for. Now, if you're a hospital, please don't call me.
You got a specialty, huh?
Yeah, I have a specialty. I have a niche client base. But also, let's see. Now, Tina wanted me to finish working on my webinar for the Podcast Center's weekend class. Now, I must confess, I ain't do that, but I did. Wait.
Oh.
Tina, calm down. While I did not finish the webinar, the pre-recorded webinar, I did polish up my presentation, which leads me to my Saturday. I made it to the Podcast Center only, about 7 minutes behind schedule?
15.
No. The class even said it. They said you were about 10 minutes behind, because remember I talked about you being a top of the hour person and me being a bottom of the hour person. So my new presentation, they loved it. It was nice graphics. I look forward to the day when we have our additional digital, so I could throw it up on the overhead and all like that and work from my laptop. But that's coming. The Podcast Center is about to explode, ladies and gentlemen. So I had a really great cohort, really great class. Tina was there for a couple of hours before she, trotted off to some festivity. But I tell you, I will say that I had a really great class, and they are really excited about developing their radio shows for different radio stations here in the market. And I always encourage them. It's like, hey, and make sure when you create your radio shows, be sure to put it on your podcast platforms, put it on your YouTube. If you have a website, repurpose that content so that it can live in multiple places. And of course, Tina, she had to skedaddle, but she did talk to them before she left and broke down some things. And then when she left, we broke for lunch, and I came back. And we're supposed to leave at 5:00, right? So by what time did you called or texted me and said, come on, your plates are fixed. And then I didn't leave till almost 6:00, because my cohort, my classmates, my students, they wanted me, show me one more thing. Now, I have to tell you all, ladies and gentlemen, that made me feel so good, because as a facilitator and trainer, to know that your class, even though they've been there since 12:00 and it's 5:00, it's a full day. They wanted to hang out a little bit more for me to show them how to do audio editing. And I just showed them some quick stuff. So then finally I headed over to It's a Wonderful Life holiday party. Now, of course, they had been already partying by the time I got there, but my plates were to the side. And I will say that is when gift giving. Thanks again to Tina's mama. I got a chance to get in.
Yay, Mama Jones.
But I'm gonna tell you, probably around 7-ish or so, I then ended up in what I call the kiddie room, the kiddie lounge. And because grown people were talking in the living room, and even though they had simulcast the Christmas, the holiday classic movies, when I went into the kiddies lounge, TV lounge, I'm gonna call it the kiddies TV lounge.
Sunroom.
In the sun, well, yes, in the sunroom, which is wonderful. Oh my God.
So cozy.
I had a chance to really nestle into this really nice sofa that just embraced me. And I was thoroughly enjoying Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
When I peeked in there, you looked like you were falling asleep. I said, I think she's asleep, y'all. Because my sister was there, of course, mom, sister, aunt. Sister had a couple of best friends that were there. My 2 children, the stepdad, brother, and of course you, Christie Taylor. So when again, like you said, a couple of hours later, when I looked around and you were in the sunroom with the kids, honey, you look like you were just about to just fall out. I think Mama even had her cozy fireplace turned on.
Yes.
Yeah, the little one that looks like a television, but it's just flames, artificial flames that are showing and the crackling sound, but heat does come out of it. Child, y'all too advanced for me. I just need old time fireplace. Give me some wood, give me a blower, and give me and let that heat come from there for real fire from the wood burning fireplace. I cannot stand. I should have saved that for what you don't know about me. I cannot stand the electric fireplaces. Gas fireplaces. I can't do it.
Well, but first of all, okay, I will say, number one, I was not asleep. Okay.
You were not asleep. Okay.
I was not asleep, but I was engrossed in the show. And I do like gas fireplaces. I like electric fireplaces. And I think it's because growing up in the country, when people had wood burning stoves, wood burning anything.
Mm-hmm.
There is cleanup. There's, first of all, go get the wood, go outside, all that kind of stuff. Then you have to clean up afterwards. See, and the grown people, they may go get the wood, chop it and stuff like that, but it's gonna be one of the 12 kids that the families got. And right, that's gonna end up with cleanup.
I see your reasoning now. Okay, so you don't like to remove the soot and not the soot is for the chimney sweepers, isn't it?
That too, but all the
ashes.
Oh my God. And see, yes, room for adults to enjoy, room for the children to enjoy, had a blast. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. But I ended up in the sunroom, aka the kids' TV lounge, engrossed in watching the holiday classic that is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And let me tell you, I was so engrossed in it because
it's a good movie. That's why. What do you mean?
It's a great
There's
movie.
A reason?
Okay. Number one, I was engrossed in it because it's a great movie. I love the story. It's a classic. I mean, it brings back your own childhood memories when you are, the children's age, 8, 9 years old or 7. But I was also engrossed because now that I understand how television is made, film is made, radio is made, I'm looking at the craftsmanship and the design of the puppets and the movement. I was like, wow, that was blowing my mind. How you had like these puppet looking claymation. It's not claymation. I'm going to look it up to find out what that was. And the way their mouths were talking in the songs and when they danced and Frosty the Snowman, all of that. I was like, was that Frosty the Snowman movie?
No, you said you were watching Rudolph. So one classic at a time. One classic at a time.
Well, the reason I said that is because Frosty and his wife and kids in the silk hat, the magic silk hats, and the hat they found that made him come to life. I'm like, wait. Am I getting my Christmas holiday classics? Anyway.
Dear Lord, you got Frosty and Rudolph in the same cartoon.
It
No.
was. Baby Rudolph was in that movie, and what I also found was, oh my
Wait,
God,
what?
I don't you remember this part? This is the part that I was like, oh my God. I remember that there was a part of the classic that used to frighten me, and when that character came on, the big scary one from the mountains, and he had his sleigh, I did not realize until this weekend that he did not
Lord,
have
Jesus.
reindeer. Please tell
One
me you can
second,
hear
please, Christy. 1 second,
this.
Christy. Amy, if you're listening, please call Daddy for me. He keeps calling me. Okay, go ahead, Christy.
Oh, is that Grant? Is that Daddy calling?
Yeah, Daddy keeps calling, interrupting. I can't hear you. Like, Daddy,
Okay.
I'm online. I'm live.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody knows what Christmas classic that I'm talking about, where Frosty comes to life and Baby Rudolph is there, and Baby Rudolph, he ends up inadvertently working with the villain and giving the money from the circus to this other character who wanted to take over the Christmas circus and stuff. But what I remember is that there was a character that used to frighten me. And when I was watching it this weekend, and can y'all remind me who this villain is? He did not have reindeer for his sleigh. They were snakes.
They were what?
Snakes.
Snakes. No, I
Yes.
didn't see that. I did not see that at all. I'm not saying that it's not true. I just didn't see it because I was actually trying to clean up. So you were relaxing
Okay, hold on one
when I
second.
was
Let me see
cleaning.
how ladies and gentlemen, did you see
I'm
how she
serious. So I didn't see it. I was preoccupied. I was trying to help my mom clean her house.
Now, why do I feel guilty in this moment that I was in the sunroom, aka kids TV lounge, engrossed in a holiday classic while the adults were cleaning up?
No.
And
I didn't say adults. I said me. Then mom eventually came in the kitchen and she came in and we both cleaned her kitchen. But no, you guys were guests. So seriously, I would not expect you to be in the kitchen cleaning up because we would have just put you out. Get out of here. We're trying to clean up. Go in there with them kids to watch the cartoon. So
okay,
I'm glad that you had a chance to see the snakes because I didn't see it. So now I really have to see this particular cartoon that you're talking about. Because yes, have I watched Rudolph this season? Yeah, but not that one that you're talking about.
yeah, it was on while you all were talking, and I'm like, oh, let me go in here because, like I said, we were talking in the. But the point is, I was engrossed. The story was great, and I forgot the different layers, and there was so many. Even like when Rudolph did not confess that he took the blame for losing the money when actually it was the villain and his little henchmen, and as a result, that was to keep Frosty and his family from melting. And when he chose not to tell what really happened, Frosty and his family were able to stay alive longer. Don't y'all remember that? And then what happened is then Frosty's wife said, Rudolph, I don't want my children hanging around a thief. And he's the reason they're still alive. And then the two children is like, oh, Rudolph. And I was like, oh, it's so many. Good morning, Corey Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mommy says she don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, now you all gonna have me.
We were cleaning. We were cleaning, so we don't remember that. But that's okay, Mom. We'll get a chance to watch it before Christmas ends. When I see it, when I find it, I'm gonna send you the link.
Yes, I'm gonna come back over and watch it with you all so I can show you that part of that holiday classic. Anybody?
Oh no, you're not. You get out of class too late.
Okay, Corey,
y'all been there talking.
Corey says, what is this? Pretty much we're talking about my weekend and how I ended up over to Tina's mom's It's a Wonderful Life holiday gathering, and they had already watched the movie It's a Wonderful Life, which is also an amazing classic because yes. And by the time I arrived after teaching the class at the podcast center, the children movies were on. And I ended up in the sunroom with her daughters, and ended up watching part of this classic. And that is what I'm talking about. And I am going to find it again because I need you all to see what I'm talking about.
Corey, I'm going to tell you, Corey, it's a Rudolph and Frosty mix cartoon. That's what she's told us. We just got to believe her. So we're going to find it and watch it ourselves. Oh yeah, by the way, and a villain with a snakes for his reindeer. So
Right,
we're gonna find it.
He did not have reindeer. He had snakes with the tongue coming out like
You know
cobras, pythons. And I was like, no wonder I was afraid of that character.
Yeah, because you're scaring me. Oh my goodness.
But well, I will say that yes, it was the animated animals. Yes, it was the one where where they had the song. This is the
Corey, they're all animated. Any classic Christmas holiday movie are animated. Cut out.
No. Okay, well, let me be a little bougie, film driven. There is animation that is more like the Disney that are drawn, but then you have the animated. They had, now Charlie Brown them were drawn, but these particular ones were like puppets that were animated. You know, the animated puppets that could talk and stuff. You remember? Okay, so Corey remembers. Okay, Corey, and the villain, I can't think of his name. It was not Heat Miser. It was the tall, scary one with the long fingers and the icicles, and he lived up in the mountains, and he came down to take over the town, and he had the guy that Rudolph gave the money to. And
my husband is pretty good at this. Sam, message us, send a comment. Do you know the name? No, I'm serious. Typically Sam does know these characters. So Sam, if you're listening, please inbox or make a comment and tell us what the name of this villain was, because I don't remember that. And if that's the case, that's a movie that we don't have here at the house, babe. We gotta do better. We're missing one.
Yes, ma'am. Frosty the Snowman special. No, that's not that one. No, it's not that one. It's the one that's animated. Okay, they were drawn, but they were also. Oh my God, I'm gonna find it. I think it's Frosty the Snowman. That's the one.
Okay.
I think it was Frosty the Snowman.
Okay. Well, cool. Do you know what? Speaking of Frosty, with my daughter, let's see, she's 8 years old now. When she was 3, that little girl was afraid of Frosty the Snowman. She would cry. Yeah, she would. So we first introduced it in my memory. We first introduced Frosty to her at my sister-in-law's house. So of course we're happy. We got a 3-year-old, and we're gathered around the fireplace and about to watch TV. And my sister-in-law asks, she said, "Can we put on Frosty? Has she seen it?" "No, come on, girl, let's watch it." We put on Frosty. Lord have mercy. Olivia Pope must have just had a stone fit. She hollered and she cried, and we were like, "What's wrong?" And we couldn't, she could talk, of course, but she wasn't really articulating that she was afraid of Frosty. So we just kind of kept watching it. But every time when Frosty would talk and come to life, she'd spaz out again. And as we said, oh, wait a minute, we think she's afraid of Frosty. So we turned it off. And I think we may have put on another movie or let it just go for a few minutes and then put it back on. Honey child, she freaked out again. I said, "Oh no." And of course, after that third time, I found it quite hilarious, because I said, "Lord, my daughter's afraid of Frosty. How do you fear a jolly snowman with a cone cob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal?"
Okay, wait a minute. You just hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the television show. It is officially 9:30, which means I am fully awake now. But Tina, you just literally said you described an inanimate object made out of
with a cone pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal.
You don't think that wouldn't frighten the child, and then it starts talking? Come on,
no. I've seen scarier people in South Memphis, so no.
Yeah, but your daughter hadn't been to South Memphis yet, so she.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right. She's in Bartlett.
She didn't have a point of reference.
Yeah, that's right. No
But
point of reference.
But one of the things I will say about this show, which I think is called Frosty the Snowman, it had the baby Rudolph whose nose stopped glowing because he did this. His nose got cursed. But when I tell you about the red-nosed reindeer, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, that's one of my
Wait a minute.
favorite songs.
Did you just say his nose got cursed?
Well, it wouldn't blink anymore. So when in the circus, people started booing him at the circus because his nose wouldn't blink anymore. And he was like, I can still do my tricks though. And they were like, boo, boo. I'm going to find this movie. See,
see, I thought you were saying that his nose was cursed when it became red. Because for me, that's what I was about to talk about. We have had so many Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer encounters since for about the past 5 or 6 days. Oh my gosh, all the girls want to do is watch Rudolph, and they have Rudolph questions, and of course, again, we're dealing with, I'm talking about my children who are 6 and 8 years old. So yes, their imagination is wild. Their fantasies about Christmas and the holidays are just, hey. Now I can say this. Olivia is starting to, with her being the oldest, she's 8. She's starting to be a little more, hey, now wait a minute. Mommy, can reindeer really fly? I wanted to tell a child, if you saw a real reindeer, you probably run from it. Because they they look like Kennedy with antlers. Like the Grinch dog. No, but for real reindeer, they are frightening. They look nothing. There ain't nothing cute about those things. They are just deer with big antlers. Yeah, and so frightening. Now, if you've ever gone, or have you? I'm gonna ask you. Have you ever gone to Starry Nights?
Yes, I have. I love Starry Nights.
Yeah, well, they used to have
hold on
live and real reindeer.
Hold on. Corey says he believed it was Jack Frost that I was afraid of, and that, yes, I'm telling the truth about that. Thank you, Corey. Continue on now, Tina. I had someone to vouch for me.
Thank you. I gotta catch it. Gotta catch that. But so a few years ago, they had real reindeer at Starry Nights. You could get out of your car and park and make s'mores and stuff like that, and they had real reindeer. You don't do, huh?
No, I don't get out. I drive through. That's what it's for. You should drive through. I don't know about all this getting out.
Dear Jesus.
I do know people do get out, walk, and do all that, get cocoa and all that. But by the time
that's what Sam and I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we do. We like that kind of stuff. And so there were reindeer out there too. And I looked at that reindeer. I said, honey, you don't look nothing like Rudolph or Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Donner, Blitzen, Donner. None of them. None of them. You look scary. And I'm going to stay back here. Because at any time I was thinking to myself, now what if this thing charges at us and it pokes us? I was scared. So I understand you now being afraid of Rudolph's this villain in the Frosty movie.
Jack Frost.
That real reindeer scared me. But the fake or the pretend and the cutesy little cartoon animated Rudolph, oh my gosh, we have been watching that. My children have questions on its validity at this point. But
did you tell them how
you know what? I did buckle down and tell Olivia that Rudolph was not real. That's it. I ain't tell her nothing about nobody else. I just told her that Rudolph was not real because she also asked, could reindeer fly? Well, no, they can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But this is a slow walk to Santa is not real. Because
this is slow. Yes, I know.
Because if Rudolph, okay, there are real reindeers, but Rudolph does not exist because reindeers can't have red noses and reindeers can't fly, then the logical deduction would be then a jolly old Saint Nick cannot be traveling the world in a sleigh if the reindeer can't take him. Come on, man, you just wrong.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? I found comfort in knowing that at least reindeer do exist. So that's why I was able to just stay right there and say, nope, nope. Rudolph right there, the flying reindeer. Nah, that's not real. But reindeer do exist. So should she ever ask me that, then I can say, yeah, the reindeer. Let me show you a picture. Then she may become frightened too. But nonetheless, at least I can justify that reindeer do exist. So,
But
but now the
they can't
baby,
fly. But they cannot fly, which means Santa Claus cannot travel across the world at the same time, dropping off all these gifts.
we're gonna let my babies be believers for a little while longer.
But you just
Okay.
told them that
So
you
don't you
just
come to my house telling my children that these don't exist.
no, you just told them that by telling them
I
that he
just told
does not.
her one character does it, and that's Rudolph. That's
You
it.
said Rudolph. You said Rudolph does not exist, and reindeer cannot fly. So then the question would become: how does Santa travel?
I'm gonna tell her to ask her daddy. I don't know. I don't know. She hasn't gotten to that point, so we're gonna let that alone. But the other one wants to know, well, if the reindeer can't fly, then does his nose turn red? And uh, no, baby, I'm sorry. I had to tell her too the truth that reindeer's noses are not red. They don't glow. They can't shine, and all this kind of stuff. But but ironic enough, I'm so glad to know that they were still enjoying the imaginative or the creativity of the movie. It's
Well,
just what?
however, in the movie, when Rudolph's nose was not turning on, he put glitter on it. So you could say they put
Oh,
glitter
they
on it
love
during.
glitter. They love glitter. So that's a good answer. Thank you, Chris.
Wait a
That
minute,
girl.
Corey said, "Tell her to call me." Oh,
I ain't telling them nothing, Corey. Not yet. I have in mind the perfect. As a matter of fact, that's a good question to pose to the listeners. At what age do you feel, or even if you're a parent and you've had children that you've already had to expose the truth about Santa, at what age did you tell your children that Santa was not real? Like I think 9 years old is a good age. I'm gonna tell her before she hits those double digits. But right now, matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that she does not listen to this podcast on radio or any other repurposed platforms because I need to wait until she's 9. I don't need to tell her right now. But that's my age that I have in mind. But I'd like to hear from the listeners. What age? What age do you feel is appropriate? What age did your mom tell you, Christy?
hmm.
Do you remember?
um, this is
I know that was
odd
way
because
long time ago. I know, but you got to
yeah,
think.
I think I'm gonna blame it on it was way, way long time ago. Because honestly, I don't remember having a strong fascination with believing in Santa. Now, of course, here we go. We didn't
Oh, okay. Okay.
you and I have had this conversation before about when you said, "Oh, you grew up poor." Remember you said that last. Well, we grew up poor, as Tina said last year. Oh, you grew up poor. Yes, I did. And we grew up in the deep country. So one thing nobody was believing is Santa was coming down nobody's chimney because 99% of us didn't have one. So
Well, we didn't either in South Memphis, but my mom always told us that Santa had a key to the front door. And because that was mama, we believed her. Yeah, we didn't have a chimney. We ain't got no chimneys in South Memphis. I was on Shadowlawn. We ain't got no chimneys on Shadowlawn.
okay, honestly, I do not remember having a fascination with Santa Claus.
Okay. Well,
For her
well,
to have that conversation with me, I do believe, and it would probably take my sister and brother who were much more attached to things. I just remember that sometime we would go to the Fred Dollar store or whatever that store was, Zayre's back in the
mhm,
day, and
mhm.
she was and mom, working at the naval base, probably had $100 to spend on all three of her kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Gotcha.
just remember her saying more like, "What do you want?" That's what I
Wow. Okay.
remember
So
that.
no hiding gifts.
No,
No
no,
go
no,
to
no, no,
bed.
no. I think that originally it seems like it was more so like you knew she bought your presents and she allowed you one time of the year but it's also my birthday month, so it kind of was a combination. It was almost like, wow, we have an opportunity to have her spend some money on something we would find joy in. Now I do remember maybe a little younger. Oh, okay. Latanya Lewis said she was 6 years old. Her dad wasn't having it. However, had toys on the tree, and I didn't have a fascination. I think that's what it was for me. I think it was more so. Now, one thing we worked big on, because mom was my mama was a theologian. So we were big on the Christmas tree, and because we lived in the country when we came from DC, that people literally chopped down their trees, and you had to put it in water and dress it, and then we were big into that stuff. Everybody having a Christmas tree inside the house or outside the house, depending on how big your house was. But also, my mom being a theologian, we literally had to learn the Christmas story, the true one, and
I remember you saying that. I remember that.
And
my child knows that too. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is this is our Christmas memories, where we would have to cross-reference it from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So it was always about Jesus and his birth and the wise men, and how did it reference to Isaiah, the prophecy. So,
I remember you saying that last year. You're right. Okay.
And then you said,
don't remember that. Okay.
And then you literally said, "Oh, you all were poor." I was like, "Well, yeah, that part too. That part too."
Yeah. Sorry, Christy. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: did y'all have red bows? Because we have plenty red bows around our house. You should come by now. We got red bows all over the place. It's so pretty in here, so festive. Red bows. Did y'all used to have those?
Now
they only $1.
Hold on. Now you do remember, red bows came later in Christmas decor, but when it came to the icicles, when it came to the tinsel, when it came to the real ornaments, not the fake ones, because if you broke one, you're gonna get a whooping. That's what we. Do y'all remember that?
Yes, we remember those. But
ornament, you're gonna get a whooping. So you make sure you hung it real tenderly on the tree.
That's right, because they were like glass. They were made of glass, kind of, sort of thing.
Yeah, because honestly, they will whoop you for dropping it, because they're really afraid that that's going to get on your foot.
Right. Cut you up somehow.
So, I mean, there was that fear and trepidation that if they even allowed you. Now, of course, if you were younger, sound like you grew up. Yes, I did. I grew up under the same biblical teachings of Latondra. So when it came to being, if you were younger, like let's say Zai's age, 6, if you're 4 to 6 years old, you are strictly on the. Do y'all remember that shiny tinsel that they used to hang everywhere for icicles?
Yes, I do.
And you would get a whooping if you dropped them too. Not because it was going to cut your feet, but because they were going to have to pick up all that tinsel. So if you were younger and you had the tinsel, you could do that, and you had to almost like one string at a time, and you couldn't put it in one section of the tree. They're like, go around the tree, go around, walk around. And then the older you became, you got trusted with, the more fragile. And God knows you would have to have a whole 6-foot person to put the tree topper.
The tree topper on. Oh yeah. That's true. Wait a minute, but hold on, Christy.
No
y'all don't have a ladder though. You don't necessarily need a 6-foot person. Just a ladder.
Back in the day, you just pulled that chair from the kitchen table, and somebody had to hold the chair so you wouldn't fall when it got wobbly.
So that's a no ladder. Okay. Oh, you're tickling me. So, okay. Well, yeah. But I told you no red balls. You should definitely come to our home. We have it's full of red bows. So we've discussed the red bows. We've discussed.
Hold on. I get the red bows. I understand the red nose. But what is up with this red heifers?
That's what I was about to tell you. But first, let me explain when I came up with the title. Now, I'm not talking about the red heifer that y'all call your nieces. I'm not talking about them. 'Cause I know you know how people go. You know how people do. I said I'm gonna have to prerequisite this and say this ain't your light skinned niece. Oh, red heifer, you're on my nerve. No, not her, not her. I'm talking about something else. No, seriously. Like, okay, so I keep my television. Um, Again, 3 channels. Well, really 4, of course, because we have television shows on Comcast 17 and 31. Oh, that's 5. So the History Channel, Smithsonian, and TBN. Those are my 5 faves when it comes to television. So at one particular day, I don't know, I don't believe it was a Sunday, but recently I was watching TBN, and did you know that there are some new red, and I'm just giving you the name that they said. They said there are some red heifers that have been discovered in Texas. And I said, who's the red heifer? So there are 5 red cows. Now, heifers are really female cows, okay? So even when you're calling your niece that, you're calling her a female cow, and she's not that. But I just want to let you know the real terminology of the or definition of heifer is a female cow. So they found 5 red heifers in Texas. And the ranger, or the farmer, or whatever you call the people that grow cows. I said grow cows, but you know what I mean. that whatever with the cows, he saw that these were, they weren't brown and black and stuff like that, like his other cows. And he also had some rabbi friends.
Yes,
Hebrews. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking it up now. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we have some friends. And his friend said, "Oh my God, do you know that we've been waiting to see these red heifers for 2,000 years?" And I'm saying that, I mean, I'm really not trying to be comical, but I'm just telling you what happened. They have not, you guys, like even in the Bible days, in the Old Testament, I believe it was 70 AD. I'm trying to find it. Yep. It says, records show only 9 perfect red heifers were used between the time of the tabernacle to AD 70. When the second temple was destroyed. So they have not, for 2,000 some years, it ain't been nan red female cow to come to be birthed until now. But they've been waiting for the 3rd female unblemished red cow to be birthed, and to know that, and for them, that's a sign for them to rebuild the temple. Now, I'm just getting y'all Bible
down there. Okay, I'll put your glasses on and read the comment.
Oh, okay. Do you have any red heifers on your property? Oh.
So that's the gentleman, author Douglas Morris. Apparently, that's the person. Do you have any red heifers? Or either she's asking somebody that. So yeah,
I think she's asking somebody that. Yeah. Because I can't remember that guy's name that's in Texas, but nonetheless, these people, like the Hebrews, they've been collecting materials ever since the second temple was destroyed, 70 AD. They've been collecting materials to rebuild this 3rd temple, but they have not been given the authority or the go-ahead, because they have yet to lay eyes on yet a 3rd red heifer, unblemished, unyoked. It had, I mean, like, she can't have done nothing. Right. And right now there are 5 of them. So I don't know how they gonna do it. I guess they're gonna have 11. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, they're gonna have 14. Because right now, so literally 5 of them have flown to Israel, and again, for them, this is a sign that the second coming of the Messiah, Lord, our redemption draweth nigh.
This is good, because in the midst of the holiday season that we call Christmas, which is, of course, the advent of the Messiah,
Yeah.
And then for you to be talking about the red bows, which I never knew how that connected to Christmas, but we have red bows, and then the red nose, of course, is Rudolph, and of course that's supposed to be Jesus lighting the way. But now the red heifers is
Yeah.
from the Hebrew,
Yeah.
holy, prophetic, and that
Yeah.
the second coming is coming, that has come in the end of times, or
Yeah.
it depends on what time is ending, because one ending is always somebody else's beginning. So
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
you don't end it with a nice little spiritual
Yeah,
okay.
girl. Yeah, girl. We need to play Al Green. Everything's gonna be. He's coming back, like he said he would. Mm? Don't play with it.
Yeah, well, I know I started the show off singing, but I think we go.
Al Green is a prophet.
Oh God.
But seriously, I just wanted the listeners to be aware of that, because I found that so intriguing that first of all, I thought the title was kind of funny. I said, Lord, when you say red heifer, because black people, we got it bad with calling somebody a heifer, and especially don't let them be light skinned. Oh, little red heifer over there. So that's why I was like, I ain't talking about your niece. I ain't talking about your folks. That's a red heifer. No, I'm talking about a literal red cat, female red cow, or cow that has red hair. 5 of them have been flown to Israel to be overlooked or looked over by the rabbis there, and the rabbis have found them clean, and they have to be they cannot still, they have to remain red for a complete year or 3, I think, something like that. I think in March, because they were born in March, so March of next year is when they're going to reassess them again and make sure that they are still, red all over. Nothing. Again, no spot, no nothing.
Wait a minute. Amy said, I'm having an issue with how y'all are pronouncing heifer. Say the on the end, not an A. Okay, excuse me. Instead of saying heifer, say heifer.
That's heifer.
Okay.
Heifer.
The red
Ricky
heifer.
Smiley said his heifer. Ricky Smiley calls somebody.
So needless to say, you're not talking about the Bible if you're saying heifer.
Yes, I am. I ain't worried about Amy. She's she's proficient in math, not English. Get off this line.
Well, to this point, I want to say thank y'all for hanging out with us today. This,
of course, what you don't know about you? Come on, man.
Okay, the Taylor Tilton Show is about to do our segment on what you don't know about. What? Let's see. What don't y'all know about me? What don't y'all know about me? Okay, thank you, Latondra. She said she enjoyed the show. Work is calling. Happy holidays, Anita Jones and everybody. Kinfolk, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. All the love. Happy holidays to you as well. And what y'all don't know about me, what y'all don't know about Christie Taylor is, coming after the red bows, nose, and heifers and heifers.
Mm-hmm.
This may seem a little shallow, but it is. I was thinking this morning, and I chuckled to myself and said, what they don't know about me is I cannot go to sleep at night without socks. Whether it's
you done told us that before, Christie Taylor.
I did.
Now, yes. Now, if you don't get us a new one, what else we don't know about you?
Okay. Well, oh God,
we don't not care about your cold feet for the second time. The second time. I'm gonna give you mine.
Yeah, you do that.
Give you mine, and I'm gonna let you think on yours. Think of us a new one for you. Okay.
I told y'all that I have to have socks on.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I laughed, and we've talked about how unsexy that is for you to rub your furry socks on somebody's leg and trying to be sexy. Like, get them socks off. But okay, so getting to know Taylor Tilton, what you don't know about me is now this is just time sensitive, but this year, family, I need you, hear ye, Anita Jones, Sam Pope, Amy Neely, Alfred Neely, granddaddy and grandmama's kids. There will be no Santa in the yard this year. Hear ye. I ain't got no Santa. I do have Santa, but as I was reflecting last night, yesterday was the 12th. Today is the 13th. We have literally 12 days before Christmas. Like, I could start saying the 12 days of Christmas now. And the stuff is just still sitting in the living room, in the boxes. And I'm like, Sam, you ain't put our stuff up. Ain't no need. It's 12 days left. Ain't no need. Just leave it alone. And we'll just stick with the indoor decor. No Santa. No black. No white. No frosted. No nothing. Ain't nothing in the yard. Just grass. Dying, withering grass. That's it. No Santa.
Okay, so that means that I'm going to have to ride back down Jackson Avenue and look at that house that had a black and white blown up Santa on their porch.
On the porch.
It's somewhere Jackson Avenue, not that far from Rose College.
Lord have mercy. Only Lord have mercy.
I think it was somewhere on Jackson, like between Watkins and Rose College, coming from Crosstown, going that way toward North Mid. Girl, I looked over, I said, is that a black and a white Santa?
I think it's on the porch. Come on now, you don't put Santas on porches, you put them in the yard. Lord have mercy, y'all.
She said, I can't believe it. We won't see the yard when I visit. Oh no Santa, no yard Santa. No, exactly. So Tina's not gonna put, but you can, if you drive up and down, it's somewhere between Jackson and Watkins. If you go toward passing Rhodes College, there's a house that got a black and a white Santa, not in the yard, but on the porch. They probably, because it must be more so in the hood, because they like, if y'all come up on my porch and touch my Santa, then I can shoot. But if it's in the yard, y'all might be. But I will say this, what y'all don't know about me, since I'm like, what is it that I haven't shared? Maybe I'm being, okay, what y'all don't know about me as we come to this wrap up is that my name, being born December the 30th, 2 days after my mom on the 28th in 1965. Yes, I'm celebrating that. 1965, December 30th. I was supposed to be, I know, gorgeously older, aging gracefully. And I was supposed to be Crystal Taylor.
Okay. Now we didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. My mom was going to name me Crystal and she reneged and named me Christie. Yeah, so actually you should be saying this should be the Crystal Taylor Show. That should be coming up at 10 o'clock. It should be the Crystal Taylor Show instead of the Christie Taylor Show. So you see,
no, that's a tongue twister. So your mom did the right thing. Let it roll right on off the tongue. Chris Taylor. Now, Crystal Taylor, that takes too much extra tongue work. Chris Taylor.
Yeah, that's something y'all didn't know about me, that I was supposed to be there. My mom had toyed around with naming me Crystal, and instead Christie Taylor.
Well, at least your name ain't Heifer. Thank y'all for coming out.
Thank y'all for coming out. The Taylor Tilton Show brought to you by
Christie Taylor Consulting and the Podcast Center. Check Christie Taylor Show out today at 10 in a couple of minutes, and check out Taylor Tilton's The Blend at 10:30 a.m. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night.
Good night.
That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I've been comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I've been comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it.